welcome back to Advent of Code. Let me just make sure my output settings are correct. Yeah, they are. Okay, cool. Hi folks, so this is Advent of Code day number 2, and I'm really excited to be sharing with you what I'm up to in coding land. So, I do have a bug that I wanted to show you all that I found and fixed. I was comparing solutions with someone else and helping them debug their issue, and it turns out that, unfortunately, I suffered from a different issue, and we were both getting the same incorrect result, and that was super maddening. So let's show you what got messed up. In fact, I can do it this way. For some reason, my boilerplate code had a thing in it that was removing the last line, and I definitely needed to not remove the last line. And I'm not entirely sure what happened. It's possible that it used to be that every input file would come with one trailing new line in addition to the normal new line at the end of every Unix file. But in any case, that was causing me to have the correct answer on my input. But unfortunately, it had a incorrect answer on inputs that ended in. So if you had an input that ended in a that ended in a going down rather than going up, I believe it would cause you to be off by 1. For some reason, let's see, go tip run deo1.go. So now I get the correct answer for my input, which is 1139. Previously, what was happening was that it was harmless to ignore this last line, but that obviously is not a great state in the long term, so I have fixed it. Awesome. So let us go ahead and have a look over here at my Kafka dashboard to see how close we are to being able to kill the last remaining Honeycomb instance that is on Intel. So we have 5 Kafka instances here that are on the new im4gn instances that launched yesterday, and we have 1 that is still left on i3 3x large. So as soon as we finish replicating into this brand new one, 1291, then I'll go ahead and kill 1281, and we will have a entirely brand new, fresh off the presses set of Kafka brokers. Should be pretty exciting. So what's happening here is this is the Honeycomb Kafta dashboard that shows me the state of my cluster, and it includes information like number of under-replicated partitions, the maximum lag, which starts off very high, and then it scans S3 and realizes that it doesn't need to replicate any of it, and then it starts burning down very fast. The other interesting thing that I'll point out is, if you'll notice down here, we were replicating off of the oldest broker, right, the old style broker, and it peaks at about 100 megabytes per second. And then after that, it suddenly drops off sharply when AWS throttles us, because you only get a brief period of burst, and then you only get 50 megabytes per second. You're clamped down pretty hard. It really sucks. As you can see here, like, this is happily replicating 250 megabytes per second. I've even seen 400 megabytes per second between Kafka brokers that are on im4gn. So this is the last 12 partitions that need to move, and then I will be able to kill this last broker, and it should automatically start the partition migrations. And then you can see other things, like you can see the throughput in messages per second. We are now past weekday peak. Weekday peak is about 1.5 million, but we're down to about 1 million now. And you can also see that there is this kind of, this happened about an hour ago. I was doing a load test, and I dipped and surged one of the consumers that reads from Kafka, so that's why that happened. Nothing to be worried about there. And yeah, you can also see things like how are we doing on network, or what's the disk usage over time. You can see everything nicely converging to about 80% utilized, or sorry, 20% utilized on disk. And you can also see, yes, the network caps on the let's see, where is the oldest broker? 1281. That blue line there, yeah, you can see it hard throttling there. So yeah, I am particularly excited to go in and take this broker and send it off to the farm. Hi, I'm excited that you are potentially okay MHT. I'm glad that you're going to maybe try this in Java. I'm really excited for you. Okay, let's see. So you can see all these instances started since the announcement pretty much. And you can see over here that this one here is dating back about a month. Most of our Kafka brokers live about 6 weeks because we have 6 of them and we retire one every week. But I decided I was going to go ahead and press the button on stream tonight, everything allowing, which, we'll see. So that's kind of the stuff that I have going off on the side. But yes, I am mostly a ARM shop these days. Also, I don't think I showed people my shirt. I don't think I showed people my shirt yesterday. I asked the AWS team very nicely, and they said, yes, you can have a Graviton shirt, so Annapurna Graviton. Awesome, cool. So, yeah, so for people who weren't here last night, this is a ARM machine that we're on right now. And it is actually, funnily enough, I discovered this morning. This is actually about the same capacity as you would get on an A1.metal instance. It's got 16 Cortex A72 cores. And yes, A9. The reason that we retire one per week is to find out what happens when we bring up a node. That way, if there is a problem with bringing up nodes, we would rather discover that at 3 p.m. when everyone's in the office and not at 3 a.m. when we have a under-replicated cluster and people can't figure out what's going on. Chaos engineering. It's super, super important to practice. At least once you get your known end nodes out of the way, so then you find your unknown end nodes. All right, we are down to the last 12, and this is making progress at about 10 million messages per second. So this should finish replicating these 2 partitions in about 8 minutes, and then we'll see how many of these remaining partitions here are big partitions versus small partitions. Although I guess I could technically answer that question myself. So let's have a look at that. And of course, we practice 2-factor because 2-factor is important. Because it prevents someone who, even if you break into my box, what you're not going to be able to do is you're not going to be able to access production without also getting a second factor off of either a YubiKey or off of my phone. So, all right.
Left everything to.
So let's describe my topics, and let's look to see, out of all of the topics, how many are left on the broker 1280? Well, tell me what still is sitting on broker 1280. Oh, is nothing left sitting on broker 1280? Is everything... Did I kill these out of order? Is that what happened? Huh. So this one says that's removing 12. Oh, I killed 1282. That's why. Okay, that's what I thought. So it's got 2 partitions in flight. Oh, hi Quim. Awesome. Day 1 is fun. So let's see. We have. Oh, yeah. What's left is almost nothing. There's literally almost nothing. We've got a topic that we don't use anymore that we should probably delete at some point, although I'm not going to do that on stream. Let's see. So we've got 1282, grep retriever, mutation. Yeah, so we've literally got 1, 2, 3 big topics left. And then a bunch of small chaff that just instantly starts and finishes because it's really, really fast and doesn't have very much data on it. Let's see. So this is 34. Yep, so about another 4 minutes and it'll be done. And yay, remembering how to Python is good. yeah, as you can see, the sustained throughput is a lot better with the Graviton storage instances. Cool, and lest we forget what we were originally here to do, so the puzzle unlocks in 9 minutes, and we should probably also, I'm going to also come over here, and let's just do the lazy thing, copy day 01 to day 02.go, and touch inputs day 02 input. Okay, and now we have something that roughly we'll do what we want, but we'll see what it actually demands. The other thing I can probably do to prepare is you haven't had an ALB node die just before unlock this year. Yeah, asking AWS to pre-warm your stuff, very important. I'm also very curious whether you have used Perl with OpenTelemetry Perl to get the backend instrumented. All right, that's almost all the way there. It is, what does it say? 25, yeah, 3 minutes left. Cool. So we have our stuff. We have our things. Cool. And then we've got my GitHub repo as well that I should probably pop open. Just so people can be reminded of where my code lives in case they want to look it up afterwards. Oh, right, the other thing I was going to do was I was going to run go tip download. Let's go ahead and build a new new Golang. Actually, it's the 1st, is it not? It is the 1st of December today. Let's see.
That'll have seen us coming in.
So if I look at Golang dev, what's the status of the RC1, or sorry, of the beta 1? How many are a release blocker not okay after beta 1? There are 9 open issues that are preventing a beta from being cut. That one is not a big deal. That one's not a big deal. So yeah, there are 7 things that need to happen here. Ooh, interface to any. That's cool. It's going to become a little bit more, whatchamacallit, like. Ooh, I feel for you that that your ALB nodes have been stressed. It always sucks when you're like, we're about to have a big thing coming. Can you not just like freeze the state of production right now? Okay, there are now 9 partitions left to move. Let's see what that status is. Yep, there is now just 1 replicating, and it should hopefully not take very long. So let us see what the status is. What happens is every minute it tries to do a new set of rebalances, or a new pair of rebalances. And yay, AWS support. I imagine they're big fans of you all, A9 and Eric. Especially given that, you know, A9, you work there now. Really glad that you landed that job working on, continuing to work on OTel. Right, advent of code. So my GitHub repo is, oops, let's not type that into a prod terminal. Here, we'll do this over here. So my GitHub repo is github.com, Liz the Gray, advent of code. Cool. So if you want to check out my solutions, you can do that there. Of course, AWS has an internal advent of code chat. Of course, that's awesome. All right, how are we doing on under-replicateds here? Or as I've started calling them because of Confluent, I've started calling them the same thing that Confluent does, which is URPs, URPs. All right, we've got 4 minutes left. I've done all of my pre-flighting that I need to do here. I'm about to have a functioning go tip. Which will be good. That way I pick up whatever's been fixed in the past 24 hours. Yep, still looks correct. Am I working on work? Yeah, I am. I was showing off Honeycomb's internal Kafka dashboards briefly, and I was going to ceremonially on stream take our last non-Graviton partition, our last non-Graviton broker, and take it to the pasture. Okay, this last removal is proceeding, and it did not have, it does not have, I've double checked, it does not have a 1281 on it, so therefore it is safe for me to proceed. Let us, Kafka 07 Foxtrot, it is time to take you to the farm. Goodbye, old soldier. And in a second, we will get another a new im4gn instance, and all will be good. And Ariel, yes, I recognize that my work-life balance is kind of not the greatest in December, but on the other hand, like, by the way, did I mention Honeycomb is a sponsor of Advent of Code? If you go to the sponsors page, you can find out more about Honeycomb. You can get a snazzy t-shirt. You can get a white paper on observability or metrics, and you can see a really awesome demo of Honeycomb SLO. So go and check out adventofcode.com/sponsors and look for us as we are the last major sponsor out of the people who have 4 lines of sponsorship. Is this the last ever Intel instance? No, it is not the last ever Intel instance because we have random like utility nodes, but it is definitely the last instance of substance. I'll say that's you know more than one or two virtual CPUs. Everything else is everything else that is more than 2 virtual CPUs is a more than just a random util box is a Graviton instance. We do have, I think, still we're running 70% of our fleet on let's see, I can actually answer that question. 70% of our fleet is running on Intel for Lambda right now. That one has not been fixed yet. But I might have run out of time to show you that because the puzzle is going to unlock really soon. The main thing I wanted to make sure is, do I have a new instance? Yes, I have a new instance. And then, you know, every now and then I'll flip open to here and we'll see what's going on over there. Let's see, is this still proceeding? Yep, that's still proceeding. Okay, cool. Let's log out of prod. Let's close this tab, and get ready to work the puzzle. Yeah, you can see the under-replicated partition spike because I just killed one more broker. Okay, let's see. Really quick, do I have time to show you our comparison of Lambda performance? 30 seconds? Yes, I can. So if I pull open the Lambda dashboard, yep, there's the Lambda dashboard. And by the way, did I mention that this is like, you know, running over 7 days of data of every single query and its full fan out that every Honeycomb prod user has run? And I have confidence that I will finish showing it to you before this timer elapses, right? Honeycomb is lightning magical fast. It is 6 seconds to query 5 billion rows of data, which I think is pretty cool. So yeah, you can see, you know, the performance on ARM is in our Lambda worker is less than I would like, which is unfortunate. But we're working on it. We're working on making it better so that we can eventually fully move that over. But every single other standing service at Honeycomb is running on Graviton. Okay. Let us see what we have here. That is finishing replicating, and we have 5 seconds until the puzzle unlocks. All right. Okay. What do we have here? We need to pilot a submarine. Oh, okay. Horizontal position, depth, increase and decrease the depth. We should figure out where it's going. So we need to get both the horizontal position and the depth, and we multiply the horizontal and the depth. Okay, that's straightforward enough. Let's go ahead and pull it open and just paste that in here. So we're just going to do something relatively simple for now. So pos x is 0, pos y is 0. Is that where I start? Do I start at 0, 0? Yep, horizontal position and depth both start at 0. Great. So, swing, split, S. We don't need the index right now. Okay. So every command has a word, and then it has a
Thank you for seeing the song.
every word has a command. So we're going to let command be parts of 0, and then
in a couple weeks, remember
num is going to be parts of 1. We're going to ignore the error. Stir conv a to I of parts 1.
Great.
Okay, and now switch command. Paste up,
we got almost a bill a week tonight.
down, and forward.
And we lost about 300 mil.
So for forward, pos x plus equals
Big picks.
pos x plus equals num. Down, pos y plus equals num. And pos y minus equals num. And finally,
Bye.
we need to print pos x times pos y. That seems pretty straightforward. Did I make any obvious syntax errors? Yes, I did. Cool. Inputs, do2.input, that looks fine. Forward, up, down. What's the error? Panic at line 27. Okay. So the problem is there is a line. Oh, okay. This one. I bet this is the reason why I had this in here. Yep, there we go. That'll do the trick. All right. I did not get in the top 1,000. That's fine. Line course doesn't make any sense. To track an aim. So, okay. So we're going to do this again. So we'll reset pos x, pos y. Aim starts at 0. So these change aim. And forward increases num times aim. Okay, that looks good. So let's go ahead and run that. See what we get. Actually, first, I'm a little bit hesitant because I don't want to enter bad answers. Let's go ahead and do this first. So that is 150 and 900. 900 is correct. Okay, so yeah, I think this is probably going to be my final answer. And that's correct, Frank 651. Woohoo! Hi, Eric. How are you doing? How are you feeling? I hope you're doing good. Thank you for stopping by the stream. I really appreciate it. Let's just keep an eye on this while I chat with people. And I am going to go ahead and look at what the advent calendar looks like. See whether I can recognize a pattern. This looks like water and some islands. Oh, I bet we're exploring like underwater for today's for this year's theme. That's awesome. And yay, yeah, the first day is always super jittery, right? It's the first time you're putting your systems to production load. It's the first time that you get the most visitors on the first day because there's always a drop off. Let's see how we're doing. How are people faring right now? Nice. I just barely cleared the top 1,000 just now. The next folks managed to get that. If I hadn't stopped to check my answer, I probably would have placed higher. But again, I don't care about the leaderboard. What I care about is educating people and having a good time. Okay. So now that that's done, let's go ahead and check that in. And also maybe let's add some comments. Oh, this is pretty straightforward. Actually, I think there's nothing fancy here. It's just entirely procedural. So I think actually I'm maybe not going to add comments. This one feels pretty self-explanatory. Okay. Let's go ahead and get that committed. And that way you can all look at it on github.com/LizTheGrace/admin of code. And I mean, you can't generate 100,000 requests in a single second, but I imagine A9 can probably generate 100,000 requests in a single second. But yes, maybe let us know if we can hook you up with some of the good observability tech, because that would be pretty cool. All right, over here, meanwhile, on the other screen, new Kafka broker has come up, and you can see now that our entire fleet is, or when this actually gets a broker number, you'll be able to see that the entire fleet is im4gn. And you can also see here that we've started replicating into the new instance. So yeah, everything is working the way it's supposed to be. We have some partitions replicating in, data's flowing. So I feel good enough about this. In fact, you can see, let's zoom in, as it is said, enhance. Let's look at the last 30 minutes. And you can see that the number of under-replicated partitions has gone down, indicating that we are making good progress. Yay, nines don't matter if users aren't happy. But yes, Eric, did you see my shiny new t-shirt? I got this t-shirt from the AWS team. I'm really proud of it. Also, the other fun thing that happened today was I got featured in the, let's see, what's the safest way to pull this up without showing other parts of my screen. Let's see, get cloud up. Okay, no, I definitely, yep, there we go. I got featured on the, a quote by me got featured on the reInvent keynote stage, which I think is pretty fun. Where is this? How do I get this thing to pan? You know what? Screw it. We'll do this. That's me. So that was really fun that happened today. Cool. Well, any questions about how I solved this? Esrudan, good luck. Good luck with your day too.
Sad we didn't get the pop-in.
Let's see, team at CPAN. Oh, yeah. If only Pearl were not there. Yeah, that's valid. I think we had another customer. It was the folks at Two Cows who were interested in Pearl Hotel. So that'll eventually happen, I'm sure. Awesome. Well, I think with that, I'm going to go ahead and end the stream. If people don't have any questions about what I did, this one was, again, a pretty straightforward procedural one, mainly making sure, do you have flow control? Have you learned how to use casing? And yeah, I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow, same time, etc. About 15 minutes before puzzle unlock. Let's go ahead and raid someone. For instance, let's go ahead and raid Where is X?